Hi, my name is Jasmin Ray. I'm a senior. I'm a graduating senior studying psychology as my major, and I'm minoring in biology. I'm with the Arizona Twin Project, which I've been with for the past 3 years. I'm on the coding team where I do behavioral coding. So the Arizona Twin Project looks at a bunch of it's a longitudinal study where it looks at the main things that we look at are sleep and pain with regards to twins and, nature versus nurture, the whole idea of genetics playing into the outcomes of the twins. It's been so inspiring, honestly, to see like such a female-dominated lab where everyone is so inclusive. They've made such a outright effort to be inclusive towards all of their RAs. Like in the summer when there was a lot of political unrest and a lot of social unrest, they really took the time to make it known that all of their RAs are accepted. And I feel like that's not something that all research labs make the effort to do, but it's so amazing to see these three different women who come from three different backgrounds come together and make such a huge study, and then such a well-organized and well thought out team of people. I feel like as kids, you don't really think you aren't taught to go to a specific way. You just go to what you're interested in. But somewhere along the way, we kind of take these small glares and these small opinions from the adults around us that kind of discourages us from doing things that we might be interested in. And so I think as women, we owe it to other women to go into these fields, because it's different having a female physician be your, OBGYN. These female experiences shape the way that you practice medicine and shape the way that you approach, your STEM research. And so representation, as we know, in every field is important. And so having these, these diverse perspectives from each member of the team and bringing forth their experiences is super important, especially in healthcare and STEM. My parents are refugees from Cambodia. And so all of my, my aunts and uncles are, coming to America with kind of a lot of trauma. And this all happened when they were very young. It was in the 70s. My parents were 6 and 10, I think. And so learning how to deal with A, adolescence, and B, with the trauma that was inflicted on them, kind of growing up, definitely shaped the way that they raised me, and definitely shaped, the people that they still are today. Some of it's still unresolved. Some of it's still things that we continue to have to work through together. And so I think child psychopathology is something that people can often undermine as a part of growing up, but I think that it's something that we need to really focus on, especially as the world continues to change and children are much more exposed to a lot of different things that I wasn't necessarily exposed to when I was younger. So yeah, child psychopathology definitely just stood out to me when I was growing up. Something that I have learned more about as I've gotten older is the idea of intergenerational trauma. We've seen trauma like this within Holocaust survivors and things like that, and how Holocaust survivors may have their own psychopathology, which may translate into generations that follow through indirect parenting practices or through genetics. And so I think looking at intergenerational trauma in some of the more recent kind of atrocities that have kind of happened inadvertently, within, my own personal family, with the Cambodian genocide, or with, the Vietnamese War, or the Armenian genocide. I feel there are just so many people who are struggling with, their own mental health while also struggling with, kind of war in their home countries, and the children that are, result from that, and seeing how they kind of are raised, and seeing how maybe trauma may translate across generations is something that I've learned about more recently, and I think is super interesting. And so immediately after graduation, I'm going to be taking a gap year in order to get some patient care experience. I'm currently working at Phoenix Children's Hospital, so I'm going to continue working there. But I'm going to apply at the end of my gap year to PA school. In the future, I want to be a PA with a emphasis in child behavioral studies.